So today we're going to talk to you about summer scalping, and I'm going to talk to you about the difference between a scalp and a hard cut, and why, if you have a Bermuda lawn, you may want to consider doing one of those this time of year. Also, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put down a little bit of fertilizer. We're going to put down some organic matter. Never fails. Just some general stuff. I've been away from the house for 6 weeks and nothing's been done to the lawn. Nothing. And it still looks pretty good. All that has been done to this lawn is that it's been cut and watered for 6 weeks, and we actually went through a drought. So hold on. Okay, so let me explain this concept. Bermuda grass grows differently than the majority of grasses. Bermuda grass, when it starts off, comes up and it looks like this. So I've got nice, soft, green, fuzzy things that look really good on the lawn. And in the springtime, after our lawn first comes up, that's when it looks the best. Okay, so we cut it. And especially this time of year, we have a tendency to let this grass get a little bit long. There's a drought, there's heat, so I need to let my lawn, everyone says let my lawn come up. Okay, well when that happens, what ends up happening is as this grass grows, what are you going to see? You're going to see this brown stocky material. Now this brown stocky material is kind of ugly. It's really hard and it's ugly, it almost looks dead. Well, as we start to cut, we no longer have all this green, we have a mix of the green and the brown together. Make sense? So, what I like to do is, I like to do something called a hard cut. And let me explain what that is. If I'm cutting my lawn at 2 inches and 2 inches and 2 inches and 2 inches, I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut it down to maybe 1.5 inches, leave some of the green on there, cut it down to 1.5 inches, and then go back down to maybe 1.75 inches on my settings. So I'm going to adjust that. I'm going to play with it. All right. Now, you can, if you want, I have done this before. If you have really short grass, you can go down and you can do a total scalp. You can take this grass basically down to dirt. I was almost going to do that yesterday. But here's the problem with the total scalp. When you do a total scalp, you remove all this green, which creates the energy and the food in the plant. So no longer can it use the sunshine to actually produce food and energy that it needs to grow. So if you do a total scalp in the summertime, it's going to take a little bit longer to come back up. So it may be a good 2 to 3 weeks before you have a nice short green lawn. But it is an option, especially if you're doing something like a leveling. What you have to do is you have to figure out a certain level, and it's hard to do, especially if you don't have something with an exact adjustment on it. But what's the level that I can take this down to just leave a little bit of green on all over my lawn and still allow the sunshine to do its job? Well, what you see here currently, this is actually a hard scalp. The lawn when I got home was looking a little bit yellowy. So there were a lot of yellow areas. I could see that the stalks were growing up and it was scalping a bit. So yesterday, we've had an absolutely totally exhausting day. Totally exhausting day. It was all day long. My son, I was driving him crazy. I think he was just about to pack up and leave because we kept cutting and cutting and cutting to try and get this down as low as possible, but still leave green on here. Then we had to come, after all that cutting, we came behind, we put down PGF Complete, the 1648, a light coat of that. We put down Dirt Booster. I'll show you that and talk to you about that, to add carbon and organic matter. We've already got plenty of Humichar down here. We've done 5 heavy treatments of Humichar. That's one thing that saved this lawn. And then because I have low phosphorus here, I've ordered, and it hasn't shown up yet, some PGF Balance, and I'll do a light coat. So what I'm doing this year is I'm doing about a 50-50. I'm putting down PGF Complete at like just below the bag rate, and then I'm coming back and putting just below the bag rate of the PGF Balance, and that's boosting up my phosphorus, and it's really helping. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you. It's a bunch of work. It's a bunch of stuff. Everything that I'm talking about, all the products in the description below, there's one link. It takes you to our website. I'll link to all those products over there. Hit the subscribe button, and don't forget, get the Bermuda Lawn Guide, because I cover most of this in the Bermuda Lawn Guide. So I'm going to show you a long day of work. Hey guys, so here's what happens. After your Bermuda grass starts to grow and grow and grow, you start to get more and more stalks. So instead of cutting this springtime fine green grass, you're actually cutting these more heavier yellow stalks. The only way to get your lawn really back to that fine sort of little green look is to do a hard cut. Not necessarily a scalp, but a hard cut. Let me explain. I'm going to go over to barbs because my lawn's too short. Is the top of the Bermuda grass is going to be, there's going to be fine green grass here, okay? And this looks nice and pretty. But as soon as you go down, you start to get into these stalks. And that's what happens. So as the year goes by, you get more and more stalks. And what we want to do is we want to take this down as far as possible without getting rid of all the green, then let it come back up a little bit. So let's just use the example of 2 inches. If my grass is being cut at 2 inches and 2 inches and 2 inches, what I should do is take it down to about 1.5 inches, a hard cut, then let it come back up and return it. When you do that, what'll happen is you'll get rid of a lot of this yellowing and scarring, and you'll get more of a fine green. Now, I have learned that if you cut off all the green, it does take a lot longer for your lawn to recover. So we'll see. So we're going to do a hard cut on all the lawns because they look okay, and we'll go from there. Okay, so one of the first things I'm doing, Ryan just showed up, but I'm back here knocking the dew off my grass. So I'm using this leveling rake, and what I'm doing, as you can see, the line here, I'm knocking all the dew off, trying to get this grass to dry off so we can get going. I think what's going to have to happen is we're going to cut this once. Then I'll probably come back with the greenskeeper and drop it down maybe another 1/8 of an inch. We're going to apply PGF Complete. We're going to apply Dirt Booster. And if my PGF balance comes in before the rains tomorrow, I'll put a little bit of that down. Boom, we'll have a short, thick green lawn again. Let me give you a little tip. If you run over this once with a reel mower, you're going to cut at one height. If you go over the same cut again, the roller actually drops down a tiny bit, so you actually get another cut. It's called a double cut. So that's what we're looking at. And I don't know if that's enough, but I really don't want to cut off a whole bunch of this green here. Man, that's tight. Look at that. I think that I think just doing a double cut's fine. I don't think we need to do a hard scalp. And then we'll put down the stuff and we'll see what happens. All right, so he's done this, the first cut diagonal. I'm going to edge it, and I'm going to run the deer over it to get up as many of these clippings as I can. I'm going to send him to the backyard, let him cut the back, and then he'll come back. And instead of cutting this diagonal, we're actually going to cut it straight. And we'll actually take it down probably another 1/8 of an inch. I want to get this as short as possible without going totally brown. And man, I'll tell you what, it is so tight. Look at that. Oh. So I don't want to turn it brown because it needs the green to produce that energy from the sun. Get all that down. We'll put down Dirt Booster. We'll put down PGF Complete. Should be good to go. Okay, so I used my McLean edger, which I love, by the way. Ryan's over there blowing all the magnolia leaves so he can finish cutting. He's done one cut here. And so what I've done is I've done edging, but here's the nice thing about this is I can take all those edge clippings and all the clippings and blow them back on the grass, and because I'm coming by here with a John Deere, and I'm gonna suck all this up. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going really slow so I don't scalp the lawn at all with the mower. But I'm trying to suck up as many of these old clippings because it's so dense and tight there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the mower. Ryan's out back doing the first cut on the back. I'm going to go by here. He cut diagonal. I'm going to cut straight. This is a good way to drop 10 pounds in one day. Come out and cut your lawn 100 times. Front's all done. The back got one cutting with the GR, the McLean GR. Then I brought the McLean GK series back here, and now I'm cutting it again. And I think what you can see maybe here's my line. It's kind of yellow looking over here. That's what I want. I don't want it scalp brown, but I want to take it down pretty hard. Looks pretty and green over here. Well, I got to take it down. So we're taking it down short, double cut, right over with the John Deere. We're cleaning up all that crap over there too on that fairway. Now I can let this grow up 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more with that fine green. It's gonna look beautiful. So this has been cut twice. I already ran the John Deere over it once. I'm getting ready to ride it over again. Get these clippings up on this tight turf. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about here. Look how tight that is. And if I get a bunch of clippings, I start to see that brown in there. And that's not what I want. But that is tight, baby. Woo! The back has been cut twice, vacuumed twice, and now we got out the world's greatest lawn spreader. Oh gosh, I love this thing. I always put a link in the description below. I always link to this one, huge hopper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put out PGF Complete. We're gonna put out Dirt Booster tonight. I'm gonna come spray it, and tomorrow we've got rain, or tonight, or tomorrow. So it's gonna be perfect timing.
Not your best execution.
How long have we? I've been going since 5 a.m. this morning. Okay, Dirt Booster. Now the PGF Complete we put out, I think we almost put out too light of a coat, but I'm coming behind it and I'm going to be putting out some PGF Balanced. So that's why I put it out so light. So now I've doubled the hole size, and we're going to be putting out Dirt Booster. And then tonight I'll use the Microbial packs and I'll spray it tonight. And then I got rain moving in tomorrow. Now, it doesn't matter how much you put out. You can put this out as heavy as you want. Again, concentrated corn, molasses particles, biochar, and humic acid. Everything that's good. Perfect.
Good stuff.
Okay, put another bag in.
Another bag?
Yeah, because we're going to use at least 2 bags back here. We're going to dump it down pretty heavy.
It's got a good little toss.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, in my last video, I talked about Iverness Country Club, where they're holding the LPGA, the country tournament. I'm sorry, I'm going blank. They're actually using Dirt Booster on the course up there in the weak areas. And those weak areas are former farmland that has very little organic matter left in it. And so we talked about it. We all got together, the Andersons and the head superintendent up there. And I told them, I said, the thing to put down is Dirt Booster. You have your organic matter, you have your corn, molasses particles, you have your biochar, humic acid, and you have your microbial pack, which stimulates that good fungus in the lawn. And your roots are surrounded by that good fungus. And that's what they're putting out. Just like we're doing here on our lawn. they're putting it out on the golf course. Tomorrow, maybe late this afternoon, but tomorrow I'm going to be mixing up some dirt booster compost piles. I've got 6 bags of cow compost in my car. I'm going to be mixing that up, and I'll be putting that in the gardens back here since we've been away for 6 weeks and they're crazy. But man, I love this stuff. Look at the yellow sprinkles. You see them? Do they get on your toes? Did they get on your toes? What do you got, tattoos on your feet? What'd you do? Did you get tattoos on your feet? Kid safe, dog safe. That's the nice thing about this. Put it out anytime you want. Say people smell like rotten eggs. Watch, ready? Here he goes. Watch it. Whoa. 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 So I've got 2.5 gallons of warm water. I'm going to put, we use 3 bags of the dirt booster. So I'm going to put all 3 bags of the microbial pack in here. Again, this will boost up the fungus around the roots and increase soil microbes. Then, I'm just going to throw in a little bit of super juice. Maybe a cup or 2. Again, you don't have to be exact with it. 2 or 3 cups, 2 cups. Seal it up. Make sure you seal it up. I'll stir it and I'll spray it tonight. Oh, by the way, the spray bottles are back in stock, just so you know. So they're like, you get 2 of them, including shipping, for like 18 or 19 bucks. So the spray bottles are back in stock. A lot of you guys have been asking. So, anyways, time to cool off and wait for the sun to go down. Honestly don't know. I honestly don't know how I'm functioning at this point. So, it's after 5. I woke up at 4:50 this morning. I've been going all day. The granddaughter's been here. My son and I have been working. And I still got to spray the microbial pack, so I'm going to put it out. A quick note. I also spray this. Remember, especially the fungus, the good root fungus. So I always spray this into all my flower beds, not just on my lawn. Anything that's a living plant loves mycorrhizal fungi and good bacteria. So I've got super juice and I've got the micro booster pack, the fungus pack, and I'll spray it in the gardens and I'll spray it all over the lawn. And that's the last step. Right at dusk, I'll irrigate this in, and we've got thunderstorms tomorrow. Should be perfect. Oh, what a pretty bird. Oh my goodness. You know, it's funny. This year, we've done so many wild plantings around the yard, just wildflowers and just natural kind of stuff. We've done it all around the yard. We've done it in the vegetable gardens. We're starting to return a lot of things to the natural state. We're not using any fertilizers in the vegetable garden. We're just using the dirt booster compost. We're putting a lot more biochar on the lawns and a lot more organic matter. We're reducing the amount of fertilizers. And it takes a while. This isn't a quick thing. This is a long-term process. But when you start to do that, it really is cool to watch nature actually work and sort of take over if you'll let things do things a little bit differently and experiment. I mean, the gardens just go crazy. We have pulled so much produce from these gardens, even though they look crazy. People will look at this vegetable garden and they'll say, oh man, that's all full of weeds and that's just crazy. But you know what? In our vegetable gardens, 50% of what's growing here is probably wildflowers and weeds and everything else. We have so many beneficial insects, so many beneficial birds coming in here, and I have almost no fungus this year. Last year by this time, I would have had a ton of fungus in here. So using that dirt booster in our compost tomorrow, I'll be making some of that and putting it in here. It is just amazing. I mean, look, as an example, the other day I pulled out, 40 pounds of zucchinis. Look at this thing. Look at that monster. That's got to come out. Again, we're not using any fertilizers in our vegetable gardens. It's just crazy. But anyways, try this. Adding some organic material to your lawn. You'll be amazed at the difference that it makes. Putting down the biochar, that really is what sort of helped this lawn survive the drought and the no maintenance for 6 weeks. Your lawn, after you do one of these hard cuts, your lawn is going to be a little bit yellowy for a while, but that's okay. It'll grow back up in about a week, and you'll see. I'll show it to you. I'll show you the results of what this lawn looks like. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to help. Talk to you later. Hit subscribe. Doc.